Well, hello, lustrous pearls, and welcome to another episode or class of our free 8-day global client attraction training. I'm Hanna Fitz, international brand strategist and business coach at the Brand Atelier at hannafitz.com. I'm so thrilled to be here with you. We are already on day 6. Now, today I want to share with you one of the pieces that will help you put some of the other things that we've already talked about into perspective. And today is all about understanding the 4 powerhouse stages in brand building. Now, the reason why today's training is so important to your journey of building your world-class brand, showing up in your full power, being magnetic for your ideal clients, it's because most entrepreneurs don't understand what exact steps they really need to be taking at what stage of business. And often we can't truly identify what stage of business that we're at unless we know what these stages are. And so I really want you to be able to employ the right strategies for your business at the right time. And I'll be sharing with you 4 important stages that you need to know. You might be able to identify for yourself what stage that you're at. So as you're listening to this training, I encourage you to type below. I hope that you can hear me properly. I realize that my headphones are plugged in but not on, so let's have that on. So as you're listening to this training, I encourage you to just identify what stage are you at. And if you can type below what stage you believe you're at, that would be amazing. We learn for sharing. Also, let us know where you're joining from. If you're new to this community, welcome to the Cultured Life. So, the stage 1 of the powerhouse or building a powerhouse brand is the heir apparent stage. And at this stage, you have a desire to create a business. You know that one day you'll be a ruler, like you're meant to lead. You're a person who's always been, in the leadership role, always the one. If there was a group at school, you would automatically become the appointed leader because you're responsible. You're the type of person who shows up, who gets things done. But you're just not clear yet on what exactly you want to do. So if you haven't started the process through our day 1 workbook, I encourage you to check your email or join the email list to receive the free workbook on personal performance clarity. We actually go even deeper into this area of identifying where you should really focus and what you're truly passionate about doing, how you're meant to serve in the world. I always say, when you have a brand where you're actually feel like you're living on purpose, you're serving others, you're doing what you love, and everything feels 100% in alignment, that's when it's really joyful to make money. You can be making money, but you're not in the flow, you're not in the joy, you're not feeling like you're where you're called, and there's that deep underlying feeling of being unfulfilled. And so at the heir apparent stage, you're still searching. You know you want to do something. It's time to reinvent yourself, but you're searching for what that thing is for you. So the strategy that I encourage you to take, if you're still at that stage where you're heir apparent, one day you're going to ascend the throne, but you just don't know what throne you want to ascend yet, so to speak. It's really to allow yourself to explore within yourself. Write down on paper, what are you good at? What do you truly like to do? All the things that you're good at. And really selecting what is it that you're truly meant to do, where you feel you're truly most passionate about and called. I just spoke with a past client a while ago who said to me, that was one of the most powerful exercises that she did with me, where she was actually able to write down all the things that she was good at, and we crossed off until we came down to that one thing that she should focus on. When you focus on your one thing, that's when you have more energy and you're more focused to be able to create results in that thing, because now you're becoming a master. You're investing time and energy in becoming great at it. Now, stage 2 is ascending the throne. You know what you're called to do. You have known it for a long time, but maybe you've had that voice in your head that's been telling you that you're not good enough, that who are you to step into that? And, maybe you haven't seen any person like you doing it. Maybe you feel that, yes, you're good enough to do it, but you're so worried that other people will criticize you. You know, a lot of us go through that imposter complex where we know that we're good at something, but we're afraid to step into it because maybe we don't have as many qualifications as the other person's doing it. Or maybe you're worried that you've never done it before professionally. Maybe you've done little pieces around it, but maybe not at that scale or that level. So that voice in your head is telling you that you're not good enough, or you need more qualifications, or you need more time. And you're holding back on truly stepping into or ascending the throne to that level that you're meant to. And so if you're at that stage, you know you're passionate about something, but your one question is, how are you actually going to make money doing it? Or who am I to do it type of questions. I encourage you to step into it. So what you want to do is, you know, the first thing that most entrepreneurs do once they identify what that passion is or where they are called is that they go and they start to create a logo and website and start selling. I encourage you not to start there, to really start at that foundation and really clarify, what is it that you're building? What empire are you building? What exactly are you looking to create? And that level of clarity and where are you truly meant to serve is going to allow you to show up more powerfully. Now, I have some notes on the strategy of stage 2, that ascending the throne strategy, where you actually know that this is the industry you want to be in. So at that stage, the strategy is that you need to have total clarity on your business model. So I see that we have Sheena here. Sheena, I know that you're an aspiring actress. So as an actress, like, where exactly in the acting world are you called? Because actress is broad. There's so many different types of actress, right? So you really want to have clarity on the business model, on what exactly you're creating, where exactly you want to place yourself. We talked about things like your le créneau, identifying that gap in the market where you're meant to serve. Who are you meant to serve? What price point are you meant to serve at? What are you meant to offer? How can you create the highest value? Who can you create the highest value for? What is your brand strategy? You identifying your niche and making out and paving the path for your conquest. You see, business, if you think about it, I put it within that context because I want you to see it almost as if it's a game, right? Business is really like a game. But of course, we're all queens in this cultured life community. And so I really put it in the context of really looking at building an empire and ascending your throne, because that's what you're doing. You're building your legacy. You're building your empire. And to build an empire that lasts, you need a strategy. You need a game plan. You don't just throw bricks everywhere. You need to know exactly where each brick is going. I mean, of course, you can't see the whole picture because things are going to evolve over time, but at least having a broad strategy, a high-level strategy that really guides your actions. Okay, so at this stage, you also want to get clear about, for your market conquest, you need great products and services. So you need to take time to develop good products and services, great products and services. You need to have a core message because, of course, like any great king, if you don't have a great speech to give your people, to inspire them, to motivate them, to move them, to serve the empire and the greater good, then you're not able to lead. You're not able to make sales. So it's the same in marketing. If you don't have a great marketing message where you're able to speak to the heart and mind of your ideal client, then you're not going to be able to sell your products and services effectively. Right? So your core message is central to that, because the core message is going to guide every other message you create for your brand. It's going to create that level of consistency and coherence that allows people to identify with you, to know that this is the signature of the brand. This is what the brand stands for. This brand speaks to me, and it really clearly understands me, right? And this is where also we spoke about things like creating a strong distinction for your brand from day one, enabling potential clients and customers to see you as more desirable and communicate in a way that's distinct. And that's what the core message does for you. If your brand has a core message, that's your signature message, your mark of distinction, people are going to clearly identify you. Even before they see you, they know that this is your brand because it has that consistency. It's the same with Chanel, Louis Vuitton. You don't really sometimes need to see the logo, and those who know, like you don't even need to see the tag on an outfit to know that that is from the house of Chanel or that is from the house of Versace. Any industry that you're in, you need to be able to have those marks of distinction that clearly identifies your brand. See, I'll tell you something about consumers. Consumers like to identify things that other people can identify. So if your brand doesn't have that distinction or doesn't really speak to, how your ideal client wants to show up in the world, they're not going to buy from you because your brand does not represent where they're going, right? So Sheena, I see that you say, yes, so true. It's such a wide range. I also want to own my own production studio. So information clarity on the strategy is extremely helpful instead of guessing. I'm telling you, guesswork is going to cost you money. Right? Guesswork is expensive. I remember my niece went to university and a lot of the students were complaining that the university fees were so high. And the professor said to them, well, you should see the price tag on ignorance. People like to say ignorance is bliss, but sometimes what you don't know can hurt you. And having all the right information, not guessing your way through it, throwing wild darts, it's going to save you money. Right? So this is what you need to be doing at this stage. Your stories and your brand visuals are even more powerful when you understand your archetypes and the archetype of your market. And we call that your it factor and what I also call the perfect fit for your market, right? So having a world-class image that reflects your new royal status. So you want to show up at the level that you want to be received, right? If you're showing up with some amateur brand and your brand isn't world-class, your clients are going to receive you at that level. So you want to show up at the level that you want to receive. And you need a brand image that speaks to your new royal status. Anytime you up level, I see it as a royal status. You stepping more and more into that ruler position. To be a go-to expert, you have to claim your ruler position, right? And that is really what I consider stepping into that royal status. So to do this, you also need to announce to the entire kingdom that you're in business, right? A king cannot rule if nobody knows that the king is there ruling the kingdom. So you need to make your announcement that I'm here. And that's where the brand awareness activities that we spoke about, like content marketing, email marketing, advertising, and all these, reaching out to people, cold call, all of these different activities are ways that you create brand awareness to let people know that you're there. If no one knows that you're there, no one knows to come to you to buy from you. And that's why prospecting is so important. Now, I always say, if your brand is built right, your brand is going to do some of the prospecting for you. We always say, build your brand to pull clients to you. You don't want to always be doing all of the hard work of going out and cold calling people. You want to create a brand that also attracts your ideal clients, that brings your clients to you. So there's also, we spoke about earlier this week, positioning. Positioning is that pull factor. When your brand is well positioned, it's going to pull the right clients to you. Prospecting is where you're pushing your message out there so that clients can find you. So there are two different activities. And so I do a type of yoga. I shared this in one of my videos called Hatha Yoga, for those of you joining this training for the first time. And Hatha is about finding that beautiful balance between force and allowing. So when you breathe in, you're actually using energy to breathe in. But when you breathe out, you're releasing energy. It's the same with the brand. When you're positioning, it's like that breathing out, because you've placed it in such a way that it's going to just allow people to find you. When you're prospecting, it's like breathing in. You're exerting energy. You're actually putting out activity to pull people to you. So it's like breathing in. And so your brand has to be that, as I say, hatha, that beautiful balance between pulling and pushing, or using force and allowing, right? Exerting activity and just allowing activity, the clients to come to you. And that is what we do. It's like, brand strategy and building brands is like energy healing for brands, right? For businesses. Creating those situations where you're allowing and receiving and giving and receiving. You're putting information out there. You're positioning your brand so that clients come to you. So if you can find that right balance of energy in your brand at the stage of ascending the throne, you're going to make your work a lot easier. Stage 3 is where we look at empire conquest. So the empire conquest stage, at this stage, you've started to attract some clients. So maybe you already have your business and you're already attracting clients. And as you deliver your products and services, you're starting to uncover, new things about yourself, the market, and how to serve better. So at this stage, it's about refinement. If your core message and strategy has been crafted well at stage 2, it will remain the same. Your market and promotional campaigns and messages will be refined. So it's tweaking, it's refined, it's shifting, it's caressing. It's like you're almost like creating a sculpture, and every time you're smoothing it out, you're making it better, you're making it smoother, you're making it more refined, right? You're making the process more elegant. At stage 2, you might implement like funnels, but maybe those funnels might not be so elegant at first. So at stage 3, you're refining them because you have more information. The more clients you work with, the more data you have on your market on what they like, what they do not like. So you're able to shift things and really smooth out the process so that it's working like a well-oiled machine. Okay, so your strategy at stage 3, at the empire conquest, where you're looking to dominate more and acquire more clients and build up your market presence and become more of a go-to expert, it's really to focus on acquiring as many customers as possible. Now, when I say many, I mean in the sense of sometimes it's not about volume customers, but about maybe scaling up at this stage. So maybe you were working one-on-one with clients, and now it's time to look at working with clients in groups. Now it's time to look at maybe even up-leveling your clients. Maybe you were working with clients at a certain state, at a certain level or price point, and maybe it's time to raise your prices, or maybe it's time to work with a higher level client, right? So you're scaling up at this point. You also want to become more visible in your market. Hi, Anita. Thank you so much for joining us here today. So you want to become more visible because once you have a world-class product, world-class message, you have proof of concept, you've worked with many clients, it's time to get more people to know that you're there. So your brand needs to, at this stage, develop what we call omnipresence. You need to be everywhere that is right for your brand. Now, I'm saying this with caution. You need to be everywhere that is right for your brand. So you might select 2 or 3 places where you concentrate your effort and you build omnipresence there. They go on Facebook, you're there. They go on YouTube, you're there. You're on LinkedIn. You build up that omnipresence, or what I like to call paper trail. Now, people disregard how important paper trail is in building confidence in your clients that you're a legitimate business, that you exist, and that what you're doing is actually going to work for them. So if someone, all you ever had was a landing page, you're not on Facebook, you're not on LinkedIn, I can't find you anywhere but that landing page, I'm going to have questions as a potential customer. And so omnipresence is really important to not only build your authority and get seen, but to build confidence in your ideal clients that your business is legitimate, that they can find you in other places so that they feel confident about exchanging with you. Okay, very important. At this stage, you also want your marketing message to become more archetypal, right? So that your tribe can identify with you, so that you can begin to pull more of these ideal clients to you, okay? And then you also want to ensure that you're having that level of consistency. So consistency of image, consistency of message, and consistency in how you show up in your market. I shared at the last training that you need to also leverage other people's media. So OPM, right? At this stage, you don't want to really start your own podcast yet. You don't want to do any of that extra hard work. Remember, it's not about working harder. It's about working smarter. Okay? Share with me, ladies, your pearls of wisdom as I go through this training. Okay? And then, of course, we spoke about last time, KISS. At stage 3, you want to KISS as you build your penetration in the market and you're at the empire conquest stage. It's about you acquisition, acquiring more market share, acquiring more revenue share, acquiring better client share. Then we move to stage 4. Stage 4, you're a powerhouse ruler. At this stage, you probably already have made hundreds of thousands. You've crossed the 6-figure line. You've probably crossed the 7-figure line. And at this stage, even though your business has already achieved success, you really want to engage in a brand audit. This is time to revisit your market and reassess your brand. It might even be a good time to think about rebranding, okay, and refreshing your brand's presence in the market. You want to revisit your brand positioning. Maybe where you started, the market has changed, customers have changed. Maybe it's time to innovate and introduce something new. Maybe it's time to really zero in and really focus even tighter on a niche. So at this stage, you know, with strong brand and strong revenue, it's time to build your royal court. Get employees, start to specialize more, release some of the things that you're doing, and get other people to support you in building your empire. No king or queen has built an empire alone. Throughout history, the greatest kings and queens had their royal court. They had people set up to support them. They had advisors and consultants and chief of staff. And they surrounded themselves with a royal court of people who can help them advance on their goals. You cannot build your empire alone. Empires cannot be built alone. It's something that I've, over the years, had to learn the hard way. I was the queen of doing it all myself until I realized that I wasn't saving any money by not hiring the people that were meant to support me in growing. I was actually keeping myself small by trying to save, by trying to do it by myself, by trying to, you know, make sure that I thought I could do it all. Why should I pay someone to do that for me when I could do it? Wasting time. A lot of times we're holding up energy for growth by holding on to too many tasks, trying to do too many things ourselves. It wasn't until I really realized that empires, you cannot build an empire alone, and that great kings always had advisors in their court, that I really started to say, you know what? I need people in my court to help me grow. And I started to identify those people that could help me grow. I started to realize more and more that the more I tried to hold on to the money that I have, the less I was growing. I was playing small. It was not helping me grow anymore. Year after year, I realized, wait a minute, this growth that I wanted wasn't coming because I was choking up the energy. I was holding on too tight. I didn't want to release the energy. When I released that energy and I started to hire the right people to support me, that's when I realized that I was growing faster. So you see, it's such a mindset shift that sometimes we think we're saving by doing it ourselves when it's really costing us more because the energy isn't going in the right place. We're not hiring people who are specialists in certain things to help us with it. We're trying to do it ourselves. And then in the end, we end up working harder, exhausting ourselves, and not getting anywhere fast. Right? So, you know, it is something that we all, and I'm still learning this. Like, there's still things in my business that I'm learning to let go of and let other people support me with. For a long time, I love to design. You know, I always said I'm part strategist, part artist. So I'm really good at designing. But I realized that just because you're good at something, I mean, what? If I hire someone to do this task for less than I can make for that hour, why not? And I'm not saving any more money. I'm actually wasting time on a task when I could be using that energy to grow my business in other ways. Okay, so I really want you to also get that to grow, you need to surround yourself by the people who can help you grow, Build your royal court. Surround yourself with support. Wealthy people will always be wealthy because they understand the power of specialization. They understand the power of delegation. Most people who are poor, and you might say it's just because of the financial situations. Poverty is not a financial situation. Poverty is a mindset. It's a choice. And I always found that hard to believe. But now I understand why the rich keep getting richer and most people who don't have keep not having, because of how we spend our time, energy, and our money. And sometimes how we don't spend our money. Right? So I really want to encourage you that even not being at stage 4, when I was at stage 2 or even stage 2 and stage 3, I was already like asking, I still have it on my dream board. So for those of you who don't have one, I encourage you, get your dream board. So I have my dream board and on there is pinned, who else can do this? Who can help me? Why should I be stressing myself out, trying to figure it out, trying to duct tape my way through things when somebody else can help me? So I have it on my dream board. Who else can do this? And that is something that I want you to take away today, because you're going to go faster when you release the energy, when you surround yourself, build your royal court, and stand in your queenly power and allow yourself to be supported, to grow, and to create the level of success that you truly desire. It can be scary because sometimes we want to go to places that we feel like we don't have the financial resources to go, but that's also a mindset because we've made an excuse before we've made a decision. So I really invite you to open up yourself and allow yourself to have what you want. Today, I typed on social media that this is your year of yes. So many of us have gotten so used to saying no to ourselves, so used to saying, no, I can't have this yet or not yet, and stopping ourselves midway from having what we truly desire, that we don't truly step into where we're called. We feel that call to do something, yet we stop ourselves because we're buying into our own story. And this year, right now, right here, I invite you to free yourself. Break loose from all the stories that you've told yourself, those stories of not being good enough, the fears of not being able to have what you want, convincing yourself that you can't have what you want, watching other people live your dream. Claim for yourself, yes, now is my time. Yes, this is my time. Yes, I can have what I want. Say yes to yourself, because saying no is not going to help you grow. Oh, that's kind of rhyming. Saying no is not going to help you grow. I'm going to keep that as a quotable. Ladies, I invite you, I'm going to also post where you can read about those 4 stages in business. So you can go through it for yourself and read and self-identify. And I thank you so much for joining me here today. I really, really can't wait to see you transform and step into and make all your dreams come true. I can tell you, the woman that I was 9 years ago when I was in that job, to the woman that I am today, sometimes I know that I still have places to go and things to achieve, but who I am today is a completely different person because of the decision to say yes to my desires and to step into my fear, to step into the things that were uncomfortable, to let go of everything that I was taught, not everything, but everything that I was taught that was limiting my life. Those limiting beliefs, those limiters, the things that we call our truth, the things that we say that are true about ourselves, that story of I can't afford it. I am not that woman who can't afford it. I am that woman who can afford everything she wants for her desires. You start to see yourself in that light. I'm telling you, your life is going to change. Stop accepting less and start claiming more and knowing that you deserve more. I believe in you. You're part of a beautiful community of women who are saying yes to themselves every day and transforming their lives, creating their world-class brand, and making a bigger impact in the world. I just got off a call with an amazing client who will be here with us tomorrow. I want you to be there to hear her story because I think her story is every woman's story. And every time I speak to her, I'm always moved to tears because She is a woman on fire, passion, and just a woman who fearlessly said yes to her desires. And I literally saw this woman's life changed. I saw this woman's life change before my eyes, and I can't wait to share her story with you tomorrow. Until then, ladies, say yes to yourself. You are a lustrous pearl. You deserve the best that life has to offer. As always, live the cultured life.